Okay, passive aggressive. We know what that's about. But now, but since she brought up the Bible thing, I just had to bring that up. So today it's about the end of days. And of course, that phrase gets thrown around more times than a basketball, right? Especially when there is a crisis or a natural disaster, right? From AIDS, 9/11, oh my gosh, when the year 2020 was coming, everybody was buying food and water and boarding up their houses. This is it, y'all. It's going to turn 2020, the world's going to explode because computers don't know how to compute 2020, right? And how many of us fell for that? I went and bought just like a small bag of groceries and sat on the couch just kind of looking at my watch going, okay, wait for it. Nothing. And even if you fell for it a little bit, you kind of felt for it like a fool, right? Imagine people who really with, guns, ammunition, 50 packs of water and all of that and nothing. Of course, when the coronavirus came, they're like, see, I told you should have stocked up, right? All those people who are like, you stock up a ton of stuff, orders, and like, I told you something would happen in this world. You need to be stocked up, you were prepared, right? But anyway, nothing happened, right? Anyway, and then of course we had the Rona, where this is it. This is the end of days. Get ready. So during the heat of the pandemic, I heard a very well-known female pastor, I guess what she is, on a Christian radio station, and she made that statement, y'all, I really do believe this is the end of days. And I was like, I had to turn that radio off. I was done. I love this lady, the way she explains the Bible. She makes it so personable, so relatable. She holds your full attention. But when she said that, honey, that was a wrap for me. And so all these thousands of people who come to hear this woman preach, and here she is saying this to them. They look up to her, So she's really not the first person to use that catchphrase. And of course, when you hear that, of course, your heart's going to beat a little faster, and you're like, this person who I trust is telling me this, right? But what is more scarier than hearing that from someone that you look up to and whose advice you believe? So then I started to think, okay, so what is the result? What result is supposed to come from that? What do we do with that information? Do we quit our jobs? Do we tell our boss, there's no use to me coming to work anymore, boss. It's the end of days. We got to hunker down. Just sit here praying all day on the carpet and just whatever. Do we tell our kids, no use to going to college 2 years from now? We just go ahead and start spending, let's just give that college fund to the church. No use, don't worry about college now. It's no use in the days, right? No need to start that new family. I know we just got married, honey. No use to planning for a family. Forget getting that two-story house because it's the end of days. Forget the vacation. Why? Can't have fun now. It's the end of days. No. Your rent is still due. Your credit card payments are still due on time. You still have obligations, responsibilities to keep. Right? You have to still keep on living. So unless you are in a cult, who decides to commit mass suicide, and we do have those, not just in California. We can't just hate on California, but we have those religious cults who might be a tad bit off, but who knows, maybe they didn't start out that way. Maybe they seem halfway normal to some of those people who got into those cults, where they say, hey, this is it, we're all going to commit mass suicide and go up to heaven or wherever they think they're going together. And that a lot of those people probably really thought they were doing the right thing. They believed in that spiritual leader, that guru. And it's a shame, that it was premature. But anyway, again, what is that statement meant to invoke? Fear. And what is that fear supposed to produce? What is that fear supposed to produce when they say it's the end of days, boys and girls? Well, it's meant to basically light a fire underneath your butt, okay? You need to get prayed up with a quickness. Even more importantly, you need to get paid up, okay? Right there, okay? You need to get paid up. The Lord loves a cheerful giver. Even better, a fearful giver, okay? Because you're really going to, just a fearful giver. You might be giving a little more than somebody who's cheerful even, right? Or even drunk, but a fearful giver. After all, there's no need for material comforts anymore, right? You can't take it with you. You heard that. If you've gone to church before on a regular basis, you can't take it with you, right? So we're going to pass that collection plate around 2 or 3 times. Hint, hint, everybody. 2 or 3 times pass that collection plate around. When you hear that in church, they're not asking for your time, your effort for you to volunteer at the church. They're not asking, no. They're not what they're asking for. It's time for you to start volunteering more. No, they want you to start coming to church more, but they also want you to start giving more. Okay, it was very disheartening to hear another Christian radio station. They were doing a very heavy-handed push for people to heartily give, even if you don't. They were like, even if you can't go to church, or if your church is not meeting regularly, they were acting like, she talked as if there was no excuse. The radio host, there was no excuse not to still give. Okay, to be given to the church. So she offered a website where you can, donate online, etc. And when I heard that, come on, don't stop giving because the corona's going on. People are dying. People are scared. So what? You still keep giving, okay? Give more, right? But what was eerily missing from that conversation, there was no consideration of those who are hurting financially. No compassion for those who may have gotten sick, or that's kind of serious, might have gotten sick, may have died. Or know someone who has. Instead, the outstretched hand, where that's all you're seeing. Don't forget, gimme, trick or treat, right? Where was the open arms? Saying, what can the church do for our congregation? For our neighborhood, etc. And don't worry about giving if you can't. The Lord knows your heart. There's none of that. Listen, we know these are hard times. Don't worry about it. Focus on your family, taking care of your family, taking care of yourself, being safe if you do still have to work. There's none of that. You're not hearing any of that. And I thought that it was just very disheartening to hear that, and some people really do feel bad. Because some people were very heavy-handed pastors. Hey, I didn't get your check this week. Some 70-year-old lady, I didn't see you donate anything, or they feel bad about it. So moments like these, it's moments like these when the church should be giving back. Really, oftentimes the church is always paid up. They don't have to pay taxes. The church is always paid up. Okay, therefore, the church should be paying back the congregation. And I'm speaking mainly towards those larger congregations, or mega churches, okay? Not these churches with, 100 people or less. There are churches still out there, you might get 30 people, 50 people, or they're all elderly. And once those people pass on, that church is going to get sold to a younger group. It's going to have the rock band and all that. I've seen tons of churches around there where it's a humongous church. You go in, I'm visiting or something, you walk in, you're like, wow, there's nobody here. There's like 30 people, they're all 65 and up. So I'm talking those larger congregations where people are balling. Okay, everybody has a brand new car in the parking lot. The pastor's driving a Cadillac, probably compliments of the church, right? But not all of them. Some of those pastors do have other full-time jobs, but some of them still get that little bonus check every week on Sunday from the congregation, these mega churches. So the mentality for these churches seems to say that the church comes first. Okay, the church gets to eat first, the congregation you get to eat last, right? After we eat, you get to eat. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you go to a potluck and they say visitors, let the visitors come in first, and then the regular congregation eats. No, with these mega churches, they want to eat first, then after y'all, everybody else after them. So in conclusion, how many times have we been here, y'all? All the wars, genocides, natural disasters, and yet we are still here. Okay, and yet no one ever says, "My bad, I was wrong." Enjoy your life. Just keep God first, still in your life. Keep God first, but keep on keeping on. Right? More than likely, we will be the ones serving up our own end of days. Okay. We will blow ourselves up. We will create more diseases, more viruses, or destroy the planet to the point where she destroys us. And we're already kind of dealing with that global warming. Oh, people say it's not real. They didn't really care if it was real. Okay, they didn't care, but eventually you're gonna be forced to care whether you want to or not. Um, I don't know when the end of days is going to be for all of us. Okay, but I can say the end of your day or my day will probably involve cancer, like a family member I've got right now, cancer, heart attack, stroke, car accident, or self-inflicted harm. Alcohol abuse, drug abuse, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So the church needs to stop taking advantage of naive Christians by trying to scare them into giving for the sake of the church's private gain. Can I get an amen? Really scaring these people, right? Give us your, come on, stay paid up, stay paid up. God's going to say, how much did you give? You're a cheerful giver, right? So that's what the phrase, the end of days, really means, okay, for a lot of these people, okay? These churches, and so let's just say you give all your money to church. Okay, if God doesn't want your money, he's not into material things, right? So what are you going to do if God comes back? You tell God, hey, we saved all this money to you. God doesn't want it. God doesn't want it, okay? Now, if you're saying, hey, we'll open up a such and such thing for people who are starving right now, people who need help with their rent, that's what great. But otherwise, what are you going to do with that money? God doesn't want that.